Alabama in the mix for one of the top wide receivers in the country, and Boobie Feaster. We're going to talk about him setting his visit date to Tuscaloosa, and it's coming up pretty soon. How about this? Another big-time wide receiver, a five-star, Cederian Morgan. He is down to his final six, and it feels like it's a Bama-Auburn battle. We'll talk about that. Sam Roseborough, also five-star offensive tackle out of Florida. He's got Bama listed, the Tide with a lot of momentum. And, hey, don't forget, Bama basketball took care of Kentucky last night as well. Like, subscribe, thumbs up. Thanks for hanging out with us here on the Bama Tailgate YouTube channel. Let's get this thing started, guys. And great to see you today. Roll Tide, everybody. Hey, guys, show's brought to you by our friends at Pearl River Resort over there in Philadelphia, Mississippi, and we appreciate them so much for being part of what we do every day. Like, subscribe, thumbs up. All right, let's talk some Bama football. And I know it's Sunday. You're ready to kind of talk and then get into some other stuff. The weather down here in lower Alabama hadn't been bad. I heard up north it's been a little chilly. So whatever you're doing, I hope you have a great day. All right, let's talk about the recruits. And I'm going to start right there with this guy, Boobie Feaster. He's a four-star wide receiver, not edge, wide receiver out of DeSoto, Texas. And he is a guy who is highly sought after. Now, he's another one of these guys like Ryan Williams. He saw Ryan Williams and said, you know what, I can do this. He was going to be the number one wide receiver in that 27 class. He's reclassified, and he slides in like about in the top 10. He's not the number one guy anymore, but he's in the top 10 at 6 foot, 175 pounds. But the guy's got great ball skills. He's can run. You know, you can throw him the ball behind the line of scrimmage. He makes guys miss. This is a really, really excellent wide receiver. And with the name Boobie, I assumed he was going to be an LSU Tiger. It seems like they always have those guys. But how about at Bama? We need a Boobie at Alabama, right? He set his Bama visit for March 6th through the 8th. And this is really big. Now, I don't know that Alabama is on the top of his list right now. But with that said, you know, you keep hearing LSU, you keep hearing Oregon. People thought Texas A&M, but he's going to Texas. And Alabama in that list. So Jamarcus Shepard going to try to make sure that Alabama puts up the basically rolls out the red carpet for this guy, because he is the type of player that could make a difference, a huge difference, not just in the recruiting class ranking, but also just the in general. I mean, he is a difference maker on the football field. So Boobie Feaster is coming to Tuscaloosa, and that was big news yesterday that he was going to be coming to Tuscaloosa. Some people didn't even talk about Alabama. They didn't think they were in the mix. But guess what, everybody? Bama right in the mix. Now, talking wide receivers, we kind of touched on this earlier in the week. This is one of the top three players for all the publications in the state of Alabama, right? Cederian Morgan, he's a five-star wide receiver, big guy, 6'5", 200 pounds, man. He really fits Kalen DeBoer's system. The Jamarcus Shepard guys, he likes these big guys that can go up and get the ball. You saw what they did with these type of players at Washington, and this is a guy that grew up an Alabama fan. Auburn predicted to get him right now, but a long way to go. Alexander City, Alabama is a place where the Crimson Tide have done great over the years. He set his final six, but it just feels like one of those old-fashioned Alabama versus Auburn in-state battles. And last year, I thought Auburn won these battles. And Alabama needed to do a better job in this one-on-one with your in-state rival. So we'll see what happens here. But this is a guy that is definitely a priority for the Crimson Tide. They want Morgan. And being in the top six didn't surprise me at all. But he's someone that Alabama is definitely after. And then when you get the two guys that committed to the Crimson Tide earlier this week, the class is up to 3. But you're starting to feel some momentum. And there could be some more commitments coming up here in the next week or so. Now, this guy, I mentioned him, I think I mentioned him yesterday, but Sam Roseborough is a 4-star offensive tackle, a big guy, almost 300 pounds, 6'5", out of Clearwater, Florida. He's a top 45 recruit. And again, you see the power of Kalen DeBoer and his coaching staff, that they're able to go around the country and bring in these big guys, or at least they're in the mix for them. And that's something that we saw with Coach Saban. I mean, he was constantly in the mix for the best of the best. And the interior lines, what Coach Cap has been able to do, obviously Chris Booker, a 4-star committing to Alabama earlier this week out of Atlanta. And then now, you're talking about a guy who is so sought after in Roseborough. But into the list it's all the top schools, the top Florida schools, with Florida and Florida State, Bama and Georgia always seem to be in that same conversation, Ohio State, and some other schools in there. But Bama firmly in this mix. And this is where you just feel like Coach Cap, since he's come to Tuscaloosa, he wins a lot of these recruiting battles. So those are 3 guys who have listed Alabama, whether it's Feaster coming to Tuscaloosa, Morgan at Alabama in his final 6, and then Roseborough, Alabama in his final 10. So still a long way to go there. Alabama basketball back in victory lane, and it was good to see that happen. The number 4 tied with a 96-83 win versus Kentucky and Tuscaloosa. Second time Alabama has beaten the Wildcats this year, so a good win for Alabama. Kentucky's also ranked. How about Mark Sears, though, for the Crimson Tide? I mean, look, I'm not catfish and I'm not courtside, but I should be, right? Because I'm telling you right now, Mark Sears, you can tell that Nate Oates has done an excellent job of trying to help create opportunities for Sears. He was 8 of 17 from the floor. The guy was 11 of 11 from the free throw line, scored 30 points, and Bama basically led wire to wire over Kentucky and Tuscaloosa. So they beat them in Lexington, and then they beat number 17 Kentucky in Tuscaloosa. Both of these are tournament teams, but great effort for the Crimson Tide. And again, you're seeing guys. How about Aiden Holloway off the bench with 19 points, 5 of 12 from 3. Bama was 11 of 31 from beyond the arc, 35.5%, and much better than the last couple games, especially the Auburn game. Bama's got to do a better job of shooting threes in Tuscaloosa, and they did. So a win for Alabama that snaps their 2-game losing streak. And it gives you Alabama, look at the record right now, 22-5 on the season, 10-3 in the SEC. And they're in this stretch right now. We knew it was tough. They lost to number 1. They lost at number 15. They beat number 17. Now they got number 21 coming into town, and Mississippi State later on this week. They go to Tennessee on March the 1st. That'll be a game in Thompson Bowling Arena. It'll be nice. The number 2 Florida's coming, and then they got number 1 Auburn. So, I mean, that is a schedule right there for these guys. So, Sears with, again, a big game for Alabama. You're starting to feel this team making some adjustments, getting ready for the stretch run. And Nate Oates and Alabama with another win over a top 25 team. All right, guys, a couple things I want to say before we zip off here. First off, that we are presented by Pearl River Resort over in Philadelphia, Mississippi. And, man, we appreciate those guys so much. Blue Oyster Cult is going to be at the Silver Star Convention Center. I know this isn't a place where there's a lot of Mississippi State fans, but for those of you that actually go to Mississippi State when Bama plays them, which we used to play them every year. I miss them being on the schedule, by the way. I was for State being the team that Alabama, one of the 3 teams that Bama played every year. I mean, it's our longest rivalry, but now not anymore. And they're probably happy about that because we've won most of the games. But they have this video board, and they have Blue Oyster Cult with Will Ferrell pretending he's the guy playing the cowbell. So why not bring Blue Oyster Cult to Mississippi? So they'll be at Philadelphia, Mississippi, or in Philadelphia at Silver Star next month. So check that out. But the Timeout Sports Lounge is a sports book just like out in Vegas that you can play. And I'm telling you, man, March Madness is coming. We're going to be up there for March Madness when they do the big announcement. We're going to be there as well at the Timeout Sports Lounge. So come hang out. Table games and slots at Silver Star and Golden Moon, hour and a half from Tuscaloosa. Easy ride, 2 hours and change from Birmingham. Now, the other thing I want to tell you guys is this. I am a super fan of Daniel Moore and New Life Art. Use our promo code Bama Tailgate, 25% off either one of these two prints. Now you're saying to yourself, why? Well, I'm going to tell you, because these guys are Super Bowl champs. And it's like, I think the first time that a starting quarterback and a starting wide receiver on a college team won a national championship, and then they did it again in the NFL. Jalen Hurts running through Georgia, Crimson Redemption. Everybody loves Hurts. He is a Bama guy. I don't care that he went to Oklahoma for 1 year. He is a Bama guy, and there he is doing his thing there. 25% off that print, or look at this one over here. Boom, there it is. Heisman Heights with Smitty making that high point catch at LSU. That was an amazing play, and he won Alabama's 4th Heisman. So use the promo code Bama Tailgate. They're going to say, hey, at the beginning of your look, where did I find out about you guys? Bama Tailgate. And then when you check out, type in Bama Tailgate in that promo code, and either one of these prints, no matter what size, 25% off. I'd get the big one. Look, I love pimping out my man cave. All right, guys, look, have a great day. We're keeping an eye on recruiting. Bama basketball back in the win columns. We got a lot to relax and hang out on. If something breaks, you can count on us. And again, thank you for being here. Can I say this? Do you mind? Yeah. Roll Tide, everybody.
To Pearl River Resort.